And Lance Whitnell, who has struggled at times on the expanses of Subiaco Oval. There's Quinton Lynch warming up. He's got plenty to give. 8 marks and 9 possessions, Lance Whitnell. So he's done a pretty good job.
I mean, fantastic working back into the Eagles forward 50. He has been filling the zone and taking strong marks and creating the rebound.
They need to be reminded again, I think, that warning.
And there's a free kick on the start of play, so that's just what Carlton want, because it happened in the first term. Brian Long, Whitnell in the best spot. The spoil comes. Here's a chance for Carlton. It comes to Scotland. He needs to bend it a long way. Favola in the goal square. It goes to the back. It goes too far. Or does it? Favola. Right. Did he throw it to himself? Play on. Doesn't matter, because Glass wins that contest and he's away. He breaks from his defensive 50. Low ball, not his best kick. Hansen took it cleanly and released Braun. Stenglein banging it forward for the West Coast. Chick coming out with confidence around the body. It could sit. It does. Staker. Goal. Quick rebound by West Coast and a nice little bounce for Staker, and he finished off.
Daniel Chick has been absolutely fantastic. Every time you've seen him fall away in the back half, they move him forward. He just gives them that spark, the aggression, and that was just smart football. Just squared it up, ran on beautifully. Staker, it just sat beautifully. So Daniel Chick, fabulous work.
So after Brendan Favola looked dangerous, within the blink of an eye, the ball was the other end. And there's another pretty ordinary bounce in the middle. McGrath, quick kick. Jones, good courage. The pack was bearing down. Punda loves to run. And held up on this occasion. Oh, he's gone the long option, and Hunter has to be good. Lappin forced the spoil and did well. Hunter squeezes out a hand pass. Nikoski runs onto the loose ball.
That's a great kick.
It is, and on the end of it is Stenglein. Cox, the running ruckman, a rare sight. Quick kick, Matera. Chick kicked his man away. Thornton allowed Matera to come through. He's officially got 3 points, so I'd love to dispute that. Having a shot from 25. From a similar area where Andrew Embley tried something special in the first quarter.
Yeah, we were all very confused on that. Not too sure you'll see that from Phil Matera. He'll go straight at it.
Really found form. 17 goals in the last 4 weeks. And he's kicked his first. And believe it or not, West Coast are in front. Those fans were right. They knew it was going to happen, but I'm not so sure they thought it was going to be 2 minutes and 45 into the term, Peter.
No, again, just pure confidence when they get going. But a lot better play. Nikoski's used to the football. Very good. And then Dean Cox, for a big man, he uses the football by foot superbly. And hits the little forward, Phil Matera. And he doesn't let him down.
It's taken a half and 2 minutes, but the home team is in front. Now to the tune of 2 points. Cox came over the top again. Here they go again, the Eagles. Stenglein sharing with Fletcher to 55 metres. The quick break once again. In the right spot was Chick. It goes over the back. Oh, it's a behind. Players having a little bit of a problem with the sun there.
Daniel Chick's gone to the football twice in the last couple of minutes. Lost sight of the football. Saw that when Phil Matera took that grab. Just lost it in flight once again.
I much prefer it when big Chris Bryan kicks in, but he can't be everywhere because he was at the centre square. So Stevens will hit it to Scotland.
Sounds like we've got a few problems at Subi. Wind and sun.
Oh, it's just the natural elements. It's a beautiful place. Scotland, high ball. Walker in the best spot. And then Whitnell got in the way and Embley took a strong mark. Walker was coming. He was interrupted. There's his opponent, Judd.
Talking about natural elements. Chris Judd, he's just one of the most naturally gifted footballers getting around.
Goes a long way back to Braun. And turn, they come back to where Punda. Still a long way from goal. Keeps it low, too low. Into that sun once again. Crowd wants a free kick, they get it. Too high. It's going to Selwood.
I reckon the crowd's gone up an octave or two since half-time.
Just a tad.
Had coffee at half-time.
Adam Selwood, 55 metres from goal, measures the kick. That is a wonderful kick. Stengline didn't know it was coming. Just as he was about to hit it to the goal square, he just said, no, there's Stengline on his own. I'll just kick it to him.
Again, just team play, though. If we get to see a replay of that football coming in, you'll see Daniel Chick just screening off Carlton defenders, allowing Tyson Stengline to take a very easy, uncontested mark.
He's kicked 5 goals for the season, and this for the 3rd in a row for the West Coast. Brilliant start to the second half. It's there. And they've lifted. And the challenge is really ahead of Carlton now.
Well, the Giants have awoken after the fortnight break. They've now just started to click. Very, very rusty. Lynch also good there. Both forwards, Lynch and Chick, in front of their defenders, screening off their teammate.
West Coast have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of the game, and 3 in this term. Starting to start, it's beginning from the centre. Although Carlton go forward, McGrath just spirals it to half forward. Longmuir pushed off it.
And Brian, the big ruckman for Carlton, works back again. Him and Whitnell have been doing this. Whitnell will take the ruck.
Forced underneath it by Cox, Nikoski, Judd, brilliant, Fletcher. There is Brian, drops the mark. Pressure came from Chick. He just crashes in. Selwood hatching that football, and we'll have a bounce. This will test the umpire. It's very soft, this part of the ground. We know how hard it is to bounce in the middle here at Subi today, but see how Mark Fraser goes with this one. A lot of players around the footy.
He's getting better.
You feel for him in a way because he's not a bad umpire.
Oh, look, he had a go at it. Again, you know, we spoke about this in the first quarter. I just prefer the umpires when it's soft to throw the football up.
It is soft on this side of the ground, and when you are struggling to bounce it, I'm sure they'll address that at a later date. Fletcher. Ooh. Spawn didn't get a free kick. Bowyer attacked. Stengline.
Bit of a smile coming from Fraser.
I'm glad he can laugh about it because you'd hate to see him not involved. Now, Emble's going to go off through the blood rule here. You'd hate to see him not umpiring because he can't bounce the ball. Because if he knows the rules, and that's what they're trying to do, they're trying to get players involved, players.
Absolutely. Good on him.
Look after him.
Better man than me. Oh, thanks.
You were the most hated player, let alone the most hated umpire.
Oh, relax.
Here's Judd. Brilliant pick up. Judd. Something magical, Christopher. Runs in and kicks a goal. Brownlow form. Chris Judd. Brilliant. We needed something and we got it.
It's just a blur of red. Those boots, when they move, he has just got exceptional pace. Some good shepherds from both Eagles players. Staker, Embley getting involved at team play. Excellent, but God, can he move across the ground, this bloke. Do you think we'll ever get tired of talking about how good he is?
Doesn't get any better than that. Andrew Walker can just look back and learn because that's as good as it gets. West Coast dominating now. The margin is still only 15 points. Blues just need to get one here. 4 goals.
Time to regroup for Carlton. They just need to go back to doing the little things they were doing in the first half. It'd be absolutely shattering for them just to get wiped off here, because they've been very good so far, Carlton.
Big punch coming. West Coast first to the football. Braun with pace. Fletcher, they're all in on the act now. Into this pocket where the sun is a problem, but not for Matera. Sliding in, taking the mark. He's a long way from goal, but he'd fancy himself from here. He'll kick from just on the 50.
I don't think you can underrate the attack and mark on that football as well. When Teague was in front of him, he goes in very, very hard here, Phil Matera.
Yep. So he's got one in this third term from a bit closer, but from a very similar angle. Right on 50. Starts it out right, it won't make the distance. Pack forms on the line. Staker, Crumming, he's got one in this quarter as well. He's got 2. Oh, they've got 5 in a row in this term. They are asserting themselves here at Subiaco. They want 17 in a row, and they are completely dominating.
Pagans have to take Big Brian off for a break. The big ruckman, raking left footer, he's been very good. But he came off for a break. Prendergast goes on for Carlton. Also Dean Cox having a break. And here comes Seaby for West Coast.
6 inside 50s for the Eagles this term. 5 goals. They are starting to dominate the game. Prendergast. Too much on the hand pass from Cousins. Nick Stevens he had the football and he was trying.
To punch.
I'm not convinced the football was the target. McGrath comes off the ground. Johnson's kicked a couple of goals. Comes on. Seaby reaches up over the top. You heard the voice of Embley. Skipper, skipper, skipper. Cousins did get it out, but in the end, Houlihan took too long holding the ball. He can do it all, Chris Judd. He does hold the ball a long time, Houlihan. He was in traffic. So in this turn, the Eagles have already added 5 goals won, and Carlton not added to the half-time score.
They're slowing it up now. Prendergast and Whitnell both getting back. This is what they did in the first half. It's making it difficult for West Coast to penetrate their forward 50. Selwood will this time.
The kick didn't connect with it at all. Bowyer was always favoured. Thornton, a little chip kick. Johnson slipped and lost his feet. Did well. Then got a high tackle and didn't get a free kick for it. Over the footy. Kerr, again, that trademark shrug of the shoulders and the dip of the head. Gets it out to Cousins. The skipper has a couple of bounces. They demand the ball inside 50. He says, "I'll go it alone." He'll kick to the goal line. Who's there? Lynch, a hand of Whitnell. As a play on it is. Carazzo and Cheek. It goes to ground. Phil Matera feigning for the free in Darren Buick style and doesn't get it. Umpire has
Out of bounds on the full. Come off a boot.
Yep. And Cousins, the skipper, right on the line where the Eagles leave the ground here, and they're always doing something silly at training, and this is what they practice.
Well, it's right near their race, just before you go off.
Play on.
One more go, don't you?
Left foot kick. Oh, Benny boy! 3 goals!
And the 3 goals, I think, will go with the 3 votes that he'll get at Charles Brownlow dinner. That was just outstanding again from the skipper. Jumps up with 18 possessions.
So you're giving him 3 votes and we've got a quarter and a half to go.
Well, yes, but he's
no
got a
doubt.
point here because Chris Judd got 3 votes this corresponding game last year and only had 18 possessions. And there's
no
about 10
point
blokes who had
whatsoever.
20 odd. Good point.
Well, 27-point margin. Cousins 3 goals. Peter Wilson's going early, I feel. He's having a great game, and anything can happen. They are running in waves. There he is again.
3.5.
Might get 4 votes.
They've kicked 6 goals in this term. There's plenty of... There's 11 and a half minutes remaining. Hunter is lining up for number 7.
Cousins continues to work very, very hard into the last quarter. He's been exceptional finishing his games off.
Their best third quarter against Carlton is 7 goals, 5. We go back to 1987. They're well on that pace. As they got a rush behind here. Carlton led by 10 points at half-time.
Comes to the midfield.
And they have
You've
just
got to
frozen.
get first youth, Matthew, don't you? I mean,
They just can't get the ball.
Carlton.
Yeah.
Carlton won coming out of the centre breaks. First half, they were outstanding. Now it's West Coast.
Spawn tied against the boundary. Thinks about the switch and eventually does.
Nick Stevens. He's only got one option, and that's Johnson. The 2 number 10s. Lost it. Johnson squares it. Needed help from the boundary line and got it. An amazing turnaround. Led by 18 points. One stage, the Blues. Now they just aren't even close to getting a score. Looping hand pass. Does it stay in for Braun? No, it does not. They made 20 metres and that.
Oh, going beautifully.
Oh, a bit going on here between Scotland and Nikoski. And did they connect? And still going at it. And he's Scotland certainly making a point. Smothered down by Chick on the forward 50. And still they go at it. They'll be charged for wrestling, guaranteed of that. And it might be a bit more because...
Well, I've seen some interesting sweat flick back in fight nights on Friday. There was a little bit in that.
Oh, and there's blood coming from the nose of Mark Nikoski too. And the emergency umpire wants the blood rule invoked here very quickly. But Carlton have possession of the footy through Johnson. So get the crowd roaring when Nikoski has to come off the ground with blood.
Well, the game certainly is from the centre forward at the moment. You just look back, not a Carlton player inside the forward 50.
Kerr. Hansen. Nikoski's still on the ground. Blood coming from the nose. Staker marked and then pushed heavily to ground. Here is Nikoski. Good kick. Hunter.
Well, change of dynamics really for...
Still going at it, Nikoski and Scotland. Just on the centre square, a bit more push and shove.
The young Bulls. But the dynamics have changed. Carlton have changed their style of footy here because now they've gone defensive. They're pushing everybody back. Before they just had a couple of guys, Whitnell and the Ruckman and Bryan were the only ones sitting back. Now it's the whole side.
Hunter. They can't miss. Nikoski's coming off under the blood rule, or he's just been taken off the ground actually. Hunter's also come off after kicking that goal, and here is Nikoski. Certainly got blood. They're working on that from the nose.
Well, Tony Liberatore did say that he'd wanted to see a physical Carlton, and that was definitely on today.
There is Nikoski and Scotland in their wrestle. And a lot of aggression there from Scotland. But they've kicked 7 goals for the quarter. Cousins trying to wrap up Houlihan. Clever handball by Johnson out to Camperelli. Stevens, it won't sit for him. He's good enough to get around. That's a good kick. Prendergast, here they go. Johnson's kick 2. He's inside 50. They really do need this goal. It's been 7 in a row at one end. He's hit the post. And the West Coast Eagles crowd rub it in. The margin back to 33 points. Cousins comes off for a well-earned rest. Stengline on. And Stengline may get the ball if Wirpunda spots him. Here he is. He spotted him.
Well done, Waite.
Good effort by Waite. Glass led him to the footy and he had to beat 2. And he did enough to force it over for a boundary throw. And there's Cousins. 20 disposals. 3 goals.
And 3 votes, according to Peter Wilson. I've distanced myself from it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's all right, you'll come back to me later.
Embley, Judd. Maybe the one to steal the votes, I think. So much time. Wirpunda. Braun leads short. Glass long. The latter. And through the middle is a man standing on his own, and that's Tyson Stengline. Measured pass is a poor one. Should have done better with that. Teague, Livingston, back to Carazzo. They're trying to work it out through a series of handballs. Stevens gave it up. Matera went in to pinch it. It falls for Hansen. Around the body, is this number 8? No, it's a behind. Still 7 minutes remaining in the term.
Kudafuti's he's come off the ground. He's been on the phone with Dennis Pagan. No doubt something going. Heat Scotland coming off for a break.
It's a free kick. It's going to go to Hansen. Too far out to score. From about 60. He's having a good day. Going back into form strongly. He enjoyed the break. He struggled around at training for a couple of weeks, and good vision, and coming hard on the lead is Daniel Chick.
He's been an excellent option really for Worsfold. Chick been outstanding in the back half. But on a couple of occasions you've seen him go forward and he just hits the ball very, very hard, full-chested. Just gives him somewhere else to go. The defensive style forward. And I guess that's the...
it was a shocking kick.
Was that the backman coming out in him?
A new haircut for the occasion too, and he's failed to connect with that. He's kicked 1 for the day, and West Coast in this quarter have added 7-4 to a point.
Low ball given up. Staker, can he kick 3 for the term? He's missed as well. It's catching. 7-5 for the term. This time Stevens will take the kick instead of Brian.
It's got to be difficult for any player kicking out. If you look at all the players around, and short to Houlihan, the swarm of footballers just in one half of the football field.
And heads to the outer side. That was Thornton kicking to Brian, who was in 2 minds and then hits to some space. Longmuir in front of Wirpunda, not for long. Closing speed of David Wirpunda, superb. Margin 36 points here at Subiaco. Just under 40,000 fans. Awoken in this 3rd term by the premiership favourites. Seaby with Brian, and there's a whistle on play and a free kick going to Seaby, who had front position.
Interesting, the Eagles have the top 8 disposal getters on the ground. Heath Scotland and Brian have 13 apiece, and then there's 8 above them. And this is one of them, Chris Judd, who's at 18.
Wirpunda looking pretty dangerous now.
They're just queuing up.
The outside of the boot. Judd in the queue. He's got a VIP pass. Lynch drops it. Not having a good afternoon. Underneath all that is Livingston. Lynch went back to help out. It spills to Carazzo. Whitnell gone down there to help out. Spiral punt, but marked cleverly by Cox. And they're going to bang it back in there forward 50 again. 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Wirpunda off for a spell. Judd and Cousins will swap. And Cousins will get it. No.
Carlton just continuing. They think they've all been to Queensland. The flood continues.
Eventually it ends up with Cousins. Tries to bring Embley into the game through the centre circle. Out to the fat side. Lynch. Check. Off a step. High ball. Edwards went very, very early, and Thornton stayed down and took the mark. Did well.
Lance Whitnell. What's the next kick? It's to Favola, who's had to go up on centre wing to find the footy. Waite stretches. Good block. Hunter got rid of Waite, and that allowed Jones and Glass. Look out, Banfield sold him badly into trouble. Good tackle, Houlihan. He's got a chain of about 9 hand passes. Do we get 10? We do. Braun. Hanson. Good vision. They're running. He could go out wide. Curtis Staker. He chips to Edwards. Staker's just ambling down. Does Edwards go there? No. Carlton trying to get back in numbers. Embley's going to get this. That was intended for Lynch, no doubt about it. Lynch and Livingston ran under the footy, and Andrew Embley hasn't had a great day. It's just possession, well, 13. It's not too bad, I suppose. We'll have a shot from directly in front. Mark Nikoski's received treatment, getting a heavy rub down, and also, of course, a bit of attention to a blood nose, courtesy of a bit of a scuffle with Heath Scotland. So this will be for goal number 8 and their best quarter against Carlton.
This third quarter against Carlton.
Third quarter against Carlton, yes. And here is Embley. Leans back on the kick and just scrapes it home. Just, but effective.
The rapid handball coming out of the back half for West Coast really typifies where Carlton are going, because their pressure in the first half was always there, but 10 handballs from West Coast in a very, very short period of time. No pressure from Carlton allows that run on from West Coast and rebound. Carlton just need to get hands on.
So that goal from Andrew Embley, it's actually 8-5 now in this term for West Coast, and that equals their best ever. And they've still got time to add to that. And they're going to go forward again. Stenglein to Hunter.
And Hunter out in front of Chick. And just a little bit too wide for him. Yes, their best ever quarter against Carlton. 2.5 minutes remaining. And it's relentless, isn't it? Cousins goes back on, and then Fletcher comes off, and Judd comes back on. They just keep coming back at you. 97-55. Wonderful performance by Carlton in the first half to give themselves a chance, but it's just been all one way since then. Houlihan, he can't break free. West Coast have got their confidence up, and somehow the ball gets through to Hunter. They share it. It comes to Big Cox. And he kicks it. That is officially their best quarter against the Blues, and everybody's getting on the end of it. As you said, Tim, they're all queuing up. And he's just so agile for a big man. But look at this little handball here from Kerr. Kept it alive. Chain of handballs. Once again, Selwood involved. And there's Dean. Kicked it high and kicked a goal. His 12th goal for the season.
Going to have a crack on talking about this flooding. Every time Carlton's got the football, they've got nowhere to go, no one for. Defensive tactics sometimes spoil an opportunity.
Goals 10 times this year in 14 games. Dean Cox has scored goals, so he's a valuable contributor, not just in the middle of the ground. And a secondary bounce. If you just had to go to the shop and you've come back, you would have to look a second time at this scoreline. It's just been dominant. There's the inside 50s, and that is significant. 16-3, and they have kicked 9 goals to boot. Stevens just spun for no apparent reason. Here's Judd standing up in the tackle. The ball held to him, and umpire Fraser was right there and could see that.
Why wouldn't you have gone to the shop at half-time? Why would you wait till the third quarter start to go to the shop?
Hungry?
Could have been a cue.
Hungry?
Crowd certainly trying to get onto Mark Fraser, Judd just stood and then threw it on the boot to half forward. Chick running hard, wants to go back by hand to Cousins. Big Shepherd, Chick on McGrath. Inside 50. Nikoski is a left foot up, taps it back intelligently. A little swivel there from Phil Matera. And he, again, has a meeting with the post.
A little bit of a dust up again. Corey McGrath getting involved with Daniel Chick.
This is the reason why, because Chick offloaded McGrath in that Shepherd.
Luke Livingston bringing it in. Big pack forming. Judd back to Chick. They go backwards from Kerr, but they're lining up again. We're Punda. Spot on the player standing on his own. And it's Staker, who's really enjoyed this third term. Quite amazing, you mentioned, Peter, about the fact that Carlton, they're trying to stop the flow, so they've got everyone back. Quite amazing that Brent Staker could be standing inside forward 50 on his own.
It's because they're zoning off, Matthew. There's not man-on-man football like there has been before. And you've got momentum coming from West Coast. You can't break momentum by just trying to flood and defend all the time. If you can't go forward, at least get scoreboard pressure on. Sides are going to pummel you.
2 goals won coming into this game. He's now lining up for 3 goals won for the term. He's got it from outside 50. They've kicked 10 for the quarter. A big reminder from John Worsfold's men in this third term. Okay, it was a poor first half, but all credit had to go to Carlton in that situation. But they have come out after half-time and reasserted just how good they are. And how good a team now, because they're all getting involved.
Well, let's realise their holiday was over.
Yep.
Half-time, I guess they've woken up. Carlton were good in the first half. Can't dispute that they were very close, but now it's almost like they've lifted the flag, Carlton. They just need to get hands-on. Man-on-man football is what's required. Go back to the little things, start running, giving out the handballs, getting the tackles on.
Different player since he got rid of the long sleeves, Brent Staker. He has been outstanding in the last month. After looking perilously close to being omitted. That's almost a throw on the up with Cousins. And that ends a 10-goal term for the West Coast Eagles. They have smashed Carlton in that third term. They've added 10 goals, 5 to 1 point. Ben Cousins has got 3 goals. Brent Staker's got 3. The game is looking over at three-quarter time. Can the Blues find some pride in the final term?
Last quarter for round 14. The West Coast looking for win 13. Hayden Kennedy gets us underway. Cox with the knock. Fletcher, who started things going in that third term. Walker gets back to help out for Carlton. Sends it forward. Waite right with him, Selwood. Different matchup there for Worsfold. And here's Selwood still going. Carlton just trying to get it free and trying to get a player free. Koutafidis may get it back here. He did. Got it from Scotland. High ball towards the 50-metre line. Lappin went back, got crunched by his own man in Longmuir. Andy Lappin just a little bit slow to get up. Good take by Hansen. Strong hands right on the wing, and Lappin is in a spot of bother. Perhaps he's only just winded. Let's hope so. Hansen squares it to Fletcher. How a man that gets that many disposals a week can be standing on his own, I'm not sure. Nice take by Walker. Player of the future for Carlton, learning every week by playing on their best opposition. Houlihan into the sunlight. Whitnell and Favola. The big spoil from Glass. No one there for the West Coast, though. Longmuir goes back. Whitnell into the pocket, but Longmuir's fallen over. And the West Coast should clear. And they do. We're Punda on his own through the middle. Chick, well, he presented well and just dropped what he should have taken. Teague will get one for too high.
Now this is where they need the run, Carlton. They've got to have people coming from behind. Prendergast is authoring.
Provide some run through the middle Favola. Glass. Spoils. Numbers favour West Coast. Hansen stands and demands the footy, called out of it by Fletcher. Embley, you can hear a voice screaming inside. Fletch, Fletch, Fletch. Too much on the hand pass. Staker. Well done, Spawn. Thornton. Jones. Wait, did just that, but eventually the ball came back to him. Koutafidis. There's a lot of wrestling going on between these two, Favola and Glass. Favola throws it on the boot, running back with the flight. Whitnell doesn't quite get a handle on it. Hunter, does he get in the back? No. It's close to the line and still in and still going. And if he can get up Hunter and go, Selwood's got 45, 50 metres on his own on centre wing. And the next one down the line will be Stenglein. He demands the footy.
Watch for Fletcher.
Turnover. Fletcher's the next one in the chain. He's 35, 40 metres on his own. McGrath bearing down. Fletcher got it and went. Well done, McGrath. Worked the ball back inside. It comes to Chick. Throws it on the boot. Lynch and Hansen in the target. And the little man just chipped in through the middle while the big blokes were bustling and hustling. Phil Matera will go back directly in front, has a chance to kick his third.
What a fantastic scrap. Whitnell and Hunter both doing their best. Hunter just managed to keep the football in, and then they're away. They just had players lining up for the football. It was an extended rugby pass. It just went on the ground. Absolutely fantastic to watch.
Phil Matera, 11 on the run for West Coast.
We can always look for negatives and positives in a game of football, but just look at quality, and that was just one of the great team plays that we've seen here today. Just working up into the hot spot, and Phil Matera just in the right spot at the right time.
2 goals, 3 for Phil Matera, and he's had a couple out of bounds on the full as well. Margin 10 goals.
Only the 2 goals, is it? I've made a heck of a mess on Phil Matera's score sheet today. Look at that. Should have used a pencil.
Stats will be out on Monday, Tim. Brian, long ball. Big leap by Wade over the top. Well, it was Longmuir, I should say. Likes to jump, but Favola still working hard. Got a better couple. Oh, that's a bit of skill from Wirpunda. And on the rebound, Cox just went to that pocket. That's confidence for you. Running hard, Cousins. The kick is measured. Got him. Good strong hands too.
It was a 100-metre lead. He just ran and ran and ran.
And Corey McGrath, he did everything right. Cousins' motor in the last quarter all year has just been fantastic. To run that far and have safe hands.
To centre half forward. Hansen through him. Here comes Judd. Not getting past this time. Kept the handball going forward. Chick may end up with it. Going back for Carlton. Teague. Lynch gets him. 25 metres out. We'll have a ball up.
He hasn't done much today, the big unit, but it's very hard running through it. He is just a monster of a bloke. You can't Teague, he'll certainly have a go.
Heading towards the boundary line, Carlton, but they haven't got it clear yet, or they have. Doing a little spin was Quinton Lynch. Let's go down the boundary with Lockie Reid.
Matty just had to confirm that Mark Nikoski and Heath Scotland have been reported for wrestling in the third quarter. Just a fine at this stage, but the match review panel will be asked to investigate the incident further on Monday.
Thanks, Lockie. Boundary throw in again. Everything going right for the Eagles. They've kicked 11 goals in this second half. Carlton haven't kicked 1. And we'll have a replay.
I'll tell you something about umpire Mark Fraser is he doesn't over-officiate the game from someone standing back. He doesn't blow his whistle a lot, doesn't play a lot of free kicks. Just might have a feel there as a former player, what he thinks is a good thing and what's not.
No, after you've caned him all day and he's bouncing, you try and get something back.
I haven't caned him, blame the 39,928 that have been getting into him. I'm on his side. Quick kick from Thornton.
Can't bounce.
Lappin.
And 1.
Ridden into the back. That's a tough. He's going to be pinged. Well, I would have thought that was a push in the back for mine.
Wouldn't have mattered.
He was buried into the ground.
Wouldn't have mattered. If he'd looked up to him, he'd know where to go again.
Still.
Just not a Ford anywhere to be seen.
This is just one-way traffic, and it's just so ugly for Carlton. It was so good in that first half. Stend line, inside 50. Here they go again. Staker. He's kicked 3 goals, and the transformation of this young man, I think he had about 5 possessions in 3 games in a run, in 3 consecutive weeks, and was certainly on the way out. Was given another chance. Andrew McDougall and Gardner weren't up to it fitness-wise, and Staker has been given another go, and he's cashing in. 4 goals, Brent Staker. Well done.
I'd like to know your theory of the long sleeve jumper.
I have asked that. I have actually asked to try and find out about it. I'm not completely convinced. He did wear a long sleeve jumper for a lot as a junior for no apparent reason. It might have been the cold climate or the lights, but I was out last Saturday night and saw a young boy walking around with a number 41 long sleeve jumper with Brent Staker's name across the back. The kid has to go and cut the sleeves off.
Personal best for Brent Staker. Did kick 3 goals against Melbourne last season, and he's got 4 in the second half. Cousins, well, he missed it the first time, picked it up the second. Shares with Fletcher. Where's Staker? No, this time it's Seabee. Well, it's 41 and 14. They've just reversed the numbers. And it's too easy. A quiet day for Seabee, given that so many of his teammates have had a lot of the footy.
Considering what we saw in the first half, you just wouldn't believe this game was going to turn into a poleaxing.
So he lines up from 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Usually a pretty reliable set shot for goal, Mark Seabee. And continues that form. Yes, they do make this Subiaco crowd very proud, and you'd love to be a member here. You just turn up and you win. 17 in a row.
It's a nice feeling to have if you are a member of a club, knowing that you're a very good chance to leave the ground with a smile on your face and with tall timber in your side. The likes of Hansen, Staker, Seabee, Lynch, Cox. You'd have to be happy.
Made a statement about Carlton not getting blown away, because in their last 4 losses here at Subi, they've lost by a total margin of 38 goals, 16. Well, it's going to go in excess of 50 goals the way things are going now in their last 5. So it's some pretty hefty defeats here at Subiaco Oval for the Blues, and the Eagles are showing no mercy. And that was the message all week at training. Oh, gone. Took too long. Should be pinged, and is. Not enough talk out there. Camporelli, can they get a goal? The first for the half, inside 50. David Wapunda having an outstanding season, troubled by a quad strain a couple of times this year. And here's Glass. She looks good at centre half back. gets it, and has a bounce. And Favola's chasing, and he'll keep chasing, Big Brendan. Kick to half forward, Staker. He's eyeing off 5. He steps inside and gets a chop out from Chick. A quick kick, Matera. Phil, good catch, good mark. Under enormous pressure from Bowyer. And Phil Matera can go back and have a crack at his 3rd goal.
His 2nd contested mark in this quarter as well. Bowyer really hasn't done much wrong, but the delivery up forward or into the forward line for West Coast has been very good. Matera just really just continuing on from the good form he's showing, because his touch is very nice. He's getting his hands to the footy. It's one grab stuff.
This will be 14 goals on the run for West Coast. Last time the Blues kicked a goal, 20-minute mark, 2nd quarter, Heath Scotland, and Phil Matera applauds it through. Simple stuff.
Makes it very easy for a commentator, does Phil Matera, because every time he puts it on his boot, he gives it that little applause. Thank you very much. It's through the middle. It's been exciting.
Judd and Cousins both off at the same time. That's a luxury.
Yeah, and some ordinary sort of quality players come on, and Stegline and Kerr What a great mark for the little man.
That's a terrific mark, isn't it? I mean, not known for his leaping ability. That's just terrific.
Well, I've got my way. Glass is now coming out to what looks like centre-half back with Favola.
The procession continues here at Subiaco. 14 goals for the second half to West Coast.
Doesn't mean he can play well there.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Brian winning the knock for Carlton. They're going forward now through Scotland. He's opened up Stevens. Favola tries to run into the hole. Stevens gets told to go for it. 55, he punches it low. Carlton sends it forward. Wait. Right with him, Selwood. Different matchup there for Worsfold. And here's Selwood still going. Carlton just trying to get it free and trying to get a player free. Koutafidis may get it back here. He did. Got it from Scotland. High ball towards the 50-metre line. Lappin went back, got crunched by his own man in Longmuir. Andy Lappin just a little bit slow to get up. Good take by Hansen. Strong hands right on the wing, and Lappin is in a spot of bother. Perhaps he's only just winded, let's hope so. Hansen squares it to Fletcher. How a man that gets that many disposals a week can be standing on his own, I'm not sure. Nice take by Walker. Player of the future for Carlton, learning every week by playing on their best opposition. Houlihan into the sunlight. Whitnell and Favola. The big spoil from Glass. No one there for the West Coast though. Longmuir goes back. Whitnell into the pocket, but Longmuir's fallen over. And the West Coast should clear. And they do. We're Punda on his own through the middle. Chick, well, he presented well and just dropped what he should have taken. Teague will get one for too high.
Now this is where they need the run, Carlton. They've got to have people coming from behind. Prendergast is authoring.
Provide some runs through the middle. Favola. Glass. Spoils. Numbers favour West Coast. Hansen stands and demands the footy, called out of it by Fletcher. Embley, you can hear a voice screaming inside. Fletch, Fletch, Fletch. Too much on the hand pass. Staker. Well done, Spawn. Thornton. Jones. Wait, did just that, but eventually the ball came back to him. Koutafidis. There's a lot of wrestling going on between these two, Favola and Glass. Favola throws it on the boot, running back with the flight. Whitnell doesn't quite get a handle on it. Hunter, does he get in the back? No. It's close to the line and still in and still going. And if he can get up Hunter and go, Selwood's got 45, 50 metres on his own on centre wing. And the next one down the line will be Stengline. He demands the footy.
Watch for Fletcher.
Turnover. Fletcher's the next one in the chain. He's 35, 40 metres on his own. McGrath bearing down. Fletcher got it and went. Well done, McGrath. Worked the ball back inside. It comes to Chick. Throws it on the boot. Lynch and Hansen in the target. And the little man just chipped in through the middle while the big blokes were bustling and hustling. Phil Matera will go back directly in front, has a chance to kick his third.
What a fantastic scrap. Whitnell and Hunter both doing their best. Hunter just managed to keep the football in, and then they're away. They just had players lining up for the football. It was an extended rugby pass. It just went on the ground. Absolutely fantastic to watch.
Phil Matera, 11 on the run for West Coast.
We can always look for negatives and positives in a game of football, but just look at quality, and that was just one of the great team plays that we've seen here today. Just working up into the hot spot, and Phil Matera just in the right spot at the right time.
2 goals, 3 for Phil Matera, and he's had a couple out of bounds on the full as well. Margin 10 goals.
Only the 2 goals, is it? I've made a heck of a mess on Phil Matera's score sheet today. Look at that. Should have used a pencil.
Stats will be out on Monday, Tim. Brian, long ball. Big leap by Wade over the top. Well, it was Longmuir, I should say. Likes to jump, but Favola still working hard. Got a better couple. Oh, that's a bit of skill from Wirpunda. And on the rebound, Cox just went to that pocket. That's confidence for you. Running hard, Cousins. The kick is measured. Got him. Good strong hands too.
It was a 100-metre lead. He just ran and ran and ran.
And Corey McGrath, he did everything right. Cousins' motor in the last quarter all year has just been fantastic. To run that far and have safe hands.
To centre half forward. Hansen through him. Here comes Judd. Not getting past this time. Kept the handball going forward. Chick may end up with it. Going back for Carlton. Teague. Lynch gets him. 25 metres out. We'll have a ball up.
He hasn't done much today, the big unit, but it's very hard running through it. He is just a monster of a bloke. You can't Teague, he'll certainly have a go.
Heading towards the boundary line, Carlton, but they haven't got it clear yet, or they have. Doing a little spin was Quinton Lynch. Let's go down the boundary with Lockie Reed.
Matty just had to confirm that Mark Nikoski and Heath Scotland have been reported for wrestling in the third quarter. Just a fine at this stage, but the match review panel will be asked to investigate the incident further on Monday.
Thanks, Lockie. Boundary throw-in again. Everything going right for the Eagles. They've kicked 11 goals in this second half. Carlton haven't kicked one. And we'll have a replay.
I'll tell you something about umpire Mark Fraser is he doesn't over-officiate the game from someone standing back. He doesn't blow his whistle a lot, doesn't play a lot of free kicks. Just might have a feel there as a former player, what he thinks is a good thing and what's not.
No, after you've caned him all day and he's bouncing, you're trying to get something back.
I haven't caned him. Blame the 39,928 that have been getting into him. I'm on his side. Quick kick from Thornton.
Can't bounce.
Lappin.
And one.
Ridden into the back. That's a tough. He's going to be pinned. Well, I would have thought that was a push in the back for mine.
Wouldn't have mattered.
He was buried into the ground.
Wouldn't have mattered. If he'd looked up to him, he'd know where to go. Again,
Still.
just not a forward anywhere to be seen.
This is just one-way traffic, and it's just so ugly for Carlton. It was so good in that first half. Stengline, inside 50. Here they go again. Staker. He's kicked 3 goals, and the transformation of this young man, to get about 5 possessions in 3 games in a run, in 3 consecutive weeks, and was certainly on the way out. Was given another chance. Andrew McDougall and Gardner weren't up to it fitness-wise, and Staker has been given another go, and he's cashing in. 4 goals, Brent Staker. Well done.
I'd like to know your theory of the long sleeve jumper.
I have asked that. I have actually asked to try and find out about it. I'm not completely convinced. He did wear a long sleeve jumper for a lot as a junior for no apparent reason. It might have been the cold climate or the lights, but I was out last Saturday night and saw a young boy walking around with a number 41 long sleeve jumper with Brent Staker's name across the back. The kid has to go and cut the sleeves off.
Personal best for Brent Staker. Did kick 3 goals against Melbourne last season, and he's got 4 in the second half. Cousins. Well, he missed it the first time, picked it up the second. Shares with Fletcher. Where's Staker? No, this time it's Seabee. Well, it's 41-14. They've just reversed the numbers. And it's too easy. A quiet day for Seabee, given that so many of his teammates have had a lot of the footy.
Considering what we saw in the first half, you just wouldn't believe this game was going to turn into a poleaxing.
So he lines up from 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Usually a pretty reliable set shot for goal, Mark Seabee. And continues that form. Yes, they do make this Subiaco crowd very proud, and you'd love to be a member here. You just turn up and you win. 17 in a row.
It's a nice feeling to have if you are a member of a club, knowing that you're a very good chance to leave the ground with a smile on your face and with tall timber in your side. The likes of Hansen, Staker, Seabee, Lynch, Cox. You'd have to be happy.
Made a statement about Carlton not getting blown away because in the last 4 losses here at Subi, they've lost by a total margin of 38 goals, 16. Well, it's going to go in excess of 50 goals the way things are going now in their last 5. So some pretty hefty defeats here at Subiaco Oval for the Blues, and the Eagles are showing no mercy. And that was the message all week at training. Oh, gone. Took too long. Should be pinged and is. Not enough talk out there. Camporelli, can they get a goal? The first for the half. Inside 50. David Wapunda having an outstanding season, troubled by a quad strain a couple of times this year. And here's Glass. She looks good at centre half back. Gets it, and has a bounce. And Favola's chasing, and he'll keep chasing, Big Brendan. Kick to half forward. Staker. He's eyeing off 5. He steps inside and gets a chop out from Chick. A quick kick. Matera. Phil. Good catch. Good mark. Under enormous pressure from Bowyer. And Phil Matera can go back and have a crack at his 3rd goal.
His 2nd contested mark in this quarter as well. Bowyer really hasn't done much wrong, but the delivery up forward or into the forward line for West Coast has been very good. Matera just really just continuing on from the good form he's showing, because his touch is very nice. He's getting his hands to the footy. It's one grab stuff.
This will be 14 goals on the run for West Coast. Last time the Blues kicked a goal, 20-minute mark, 2nd quarter, Heath Scotland, and Phil Matera applauds it through. Simple stuff.
Makes it very easy for a commentator, does Phil Matera, because every time he puts it on his boot, he gives it that little applause. Thank you very much. It's through the middle. It's been exciting.
Judd and Cousins both off at the same time. That's a luxury.
Yeah, and some ordinary sort of quality players come on, and Stegline and Kerr. What a great mark for the little man.
That's a terrific mark, isn't it? I mean, not known for his leaping ability. That's just terrific.
Well, I've got my way. Glass is now coming out to what looks like centre half back with Favola.
The procession continues here at Subiaco. 14 goals for the 2nd half to West Coast.
Doesn't mean he can play well there.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Brian winning the knock for Carlton. They're going forward now through Scotland. He's opened up Stevens. Favola tries to run into the hole. Stevens gets told to go for it. 55, he punches it low, but he punches it left. There's the Bronx cheer from the West Coast crowd. Just 2nd behind, is it, Tim?
Yep, since half-time.
Yep. Judd afforded the luxury of a break. 22 disposals for him. 2 goals. One of them just classic Judd.
Are you still confident Cousins has got the 3 votes, or has he given a couple back to you, reckon, Peter, since you went off early?
No, outstanding courage he's showing. He's kicked 3. He'll come on, get a couple more touches just before the final siren.
Oh, Fletcher's had 28 disposals, making a run.
Yes. Wapunda's been outstanding. I think Stengline's had 21 and 10 marks.
Umpires love goals.
Oh, yeah? How many full forwards have won the Brownlow?
From their midfielders. I hadn't finished the sentence. You always chip in too early.
Big leap, nice mark taken by Longmuir. Can go through the middle. And a player standing all his own is Livingston. And he can share it with Waite, and he does. From inside the centre square, Favola the target, gets a little nudge from Lynch.
A new fullback.
And he's at fullback, and he kicks it long. No one to kick to, though, Quentin Lynch.
That's his first kick for the day.
Livingston back to Houlihan, round the body, clever kick. Jared Waite in space. No one to kick to, though. Kicks it high and kicks it to David Wapunda.
Fletcher. Where's Darren Glass now, Peter?
Probably in the midfield.
I think he's actually on the bench, is he not? I think, yeah. That's why he was at centre half back briefly. He was walking through on the way to the interchange. Cox wins it down.
Thank you, Tim.
Scotland, already been reported for wrestling inside 50. Can they get a mark? Lynch flew. That could be costly. Favola! He's missed the lot. Did well work his man underneath the footy.
His work rate hasn't been too bad at all.
It's been good. He's played well. Kicked 3. Almost 3 out of 8.
He's handed off a couple and he's been chasing. I mean, I think it's a bit unfair from the crowd. That,
They booed Wayne Carey, Gary Ablett. They booed the lot out.
True.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Fair enough.
Imagine if Chris Judd left. Umpire says gone.
4 people hailing the same bus.
Camporelli penalised.
He'll get the ride.
Started strongly, Scott Camporelli. Very quiet since half-time. Kerr just threw it on the boot, and here's Fletcher. I'm tipping he'll get the 3 votes. Matty, are you with me on this?
certainly.
Position 30, Mark 11.
Oh, no, that kick let him down.
Look at him. It's just like a training drill at the moment. And Wapunda's just camped on the left centre wing. If Stengline can see him, he does. Kudafidis is camped inside defensive 50, blocking up the hole. Jones just chips down. All the backmen want a piece of this. Jones plays on, chips to Selwood, and that is just too easy. Just too easy, and Selwood from directly in front. Can kick a long ball, but it'll have to be good from 55 as Judd comes back on for Fletcher. Adam Selwood. Could he be goal kicker number 12 for West Coast today? Directly in front. Doesn't quite strike it, but Staker's there, doesn't take the mark. Well done, Longua, and just throw in. It's repeating Carlton's last goal. Heath Scotland, 20-minute mark of the second term. So we've gone 2 quarters without a goal, and they led by 10 points at that time.
Deep inside West Coast attacking zone. Cox just able to lay it down towards Selwood, but Prendergast going through. Lappin also there. And we'll have another ball up 30 metres around from the goal. 133 to 56. It's quite amazing, the score, given that we were at half time. We were thinking, here's a close finish game, anything's possible. Walker gets out of trouble, gives it to Lappin. Short pass, not enough. Carazzo, he's in trouble. Judd will just accelerate out of trouble. Ooh. Going the wrong way though.
Oh, he's kicked. Oh, did he know he was going the wrong way? He has gone 70 metres backwards.
Well, he's full forward, he's playing at full back. I mean, it's totally...
He's trying to get him involved.
Been off the ground for a while.
Lynch spots up to Jones. Could have been a set play.
Only he could do it and get away with it.
He went a long way, the wrong way though. Jones, well, a little bit untidy, but Wapunda's got a bit of time. Not a good kick from a man who prides himself in using the football. Staker's wrapped up, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, look,
there is Chris Judd.
If it wasn't Chris Judd, I reckon we would have thought the bloke deliberately going the wrong way, because he was flying.
He did do it in the third quarter as well, I must admit.
Kerr can't get past the tackle, and all of a sudden the goals have dried up. So that's one good thing for Carlton fans watching around the country. There's only been 4 goals in this term so far, after 10 in the third. But West Coast still pressing here, but being held up. Kerr trying to get past Johnson, the wrestle, and another ball up. You're still worried about the compass, aren't you?
I'm sure he knew what was going on. It just looked odd. That's all. Lynch didn't know what was going on. Kerr tried to duck underneath that tackle, and he may have sold himself into trouble. Now we'll have another ball up, so the ball's not going very far. Carlton will be happy with that. He's in this term 4 straight. West Coast, just the one behind for Carlton. Kerr got one in the back. It was delayed whistle. It was definitely there.
Hasn't spent a huge amount of time on the ground, coming up for his 14th possession.
Hanson on the end of it.
Nice return to form for this boy. Really has come back to the touch that we saw earlier in the year. He's just let up time and time again. Adam Hunter coming up after a great game. Very sore, cramp. Andrew Embley coming back on, as well as Swan District's teammate. See Hansen, got a lovely kick.
Here is the Ashley Hansen shot on goal. He's missed the lot.
The mocker on him.
That's the Carlton forward line. They stand there long enough. Chris Judd might kick it back down there.
For himself.
Stevens to Kurtafidis. Kicks in the Teague and Prendergast direction. Chick caused the contest and McCoskey tackles Walker. Ball up on centre wing.
132 more disposals, 36 more marks, 62 more handball receives. West Coast.
An amazing second half.
132 more disposals. Carlton have had 220.
About 4 players more on average in possessions, isn't it?
4 good players.
Judd went without it. Chance for Houlihan. Besieged though by Chick. Stengline going in to pinch it but couldn't. But I guess it's really the game is petering out a little bit. We've had a lot of ball ups and throw-ins in the last 5 minutes. The applause for Wirpunda coming off. Over the top came T. Kerr. Hit in Hope. Staker sharing with Banfield on the left. Can he get it to come back? He can't. And marking on the chest, Livingston. Deep on the last line of defence for Carlton. Back to where it came from in the form of Longmuir. He can play on. Chips short to Kurtafidis. Chambers is his target. He can go on as well. Long one-on-one for Vola and Lynch. Lynch winning. Johnson trying to get through and crumb it, but he can't get past. And the boundary umpire signalling that's out of bounds. Just outside the Carlton forward 50, 3 minutes remaining. They would like to get one in this half, and they'd like to get it now. Nice tackle by Thornton on Judd, but the numbers went out for West Coast. Seaby gave it to Banfield, over to Stengline. 12 marks for the afternoon to Stengline. Found himself in his own a few times. On the stretch, Staker. For once, they've got an open forward line if they can move it in quickly. Braun does so, and just with clever use of the body, Fletcher. A little bit of a look at the umpire to say, was that okay?
It's a big effort to move Kurtafidis off the footy.
Well, just had his arm pinned a little bit there, Fletcher. Just gave himself every opportunity against the big man. Just pin that arm back a bit, little tiny bit of a shove. And for a big man, Kurtafidis really should have been laying back on that.
Coming up for disposal number 32, 12 marks, hasn't kicked a goal. He's 45 metres out. He's got one now.
Give him the votes.
Fletcher has joined the party, coming off 32 disposals in round 13. He's matched it in round 14.
Yes, OK, Tim, I get it, you're staring at me. But Cousins has been on the bench. I'd have to look to the coach's box and say, well, come on.
Wilson critical of Worsfold tactics. I can see the headline.
I mean, you know, if he loses by 1 vote.
That's the goal. And Andrew Embley is limping coming off the ground, and it could only be cramp. He's coming to the interchange right now, but he's looking a tad distressed, but doesn't seem to be any urgency from the medical staff. They are looking down at his right leg. Lockie Reid is keeping an eye on that. Carlton have kicked 2 points since half-time, and West Coast have kicked 15 goals. Can the Blues eke out one in the last 2 minutes? Not if the ball's going this way. And that's the Eagles' direction. They're just queuing up for touches, and Will Pundu's just come back on the ground. Takes the mark, and some late treatment. Nothing serious. Now Seaby's run on. Nikoski. A few dollars lighter in the pocket. Interesting kick. Jones just went with it. And here's Cousins. Here's your boy. Back out there. Longmuir. Hasn't had a great afternoon back in the west. Bounce was always going to trouble Johnson. Stenglein, little hand pass. Carazzo goes to ground. Walker, basketball-like, just taps it to himself and spins. Does very well. Leaves Jones and Nikoski in his wake. And Favola takes the mark. In fact, he got one over the shoulder from Lynch. So Brendan Favola has a chance to kick the Blues' first goal since the 20-minute mark of the second quarter.
With 40-odd seconds to go, really, it would probably be the last goal, Timothy.
He's kicked 3. He's gone back about 40 metres. Can hold his head up. He's worked very hard. Give him the honours over glass, no doubt about that. So this will equal the effort of Staker, who's kicked 4 for West Coast. So to kick their first goal, the second half, after leading by 10 points, the long break. The clock ticks down. Strolls up, the clock keeps ticking. And ticking. Breaks into a trot. And then kicks the goal.
Well, there's a lot of talk about his run-up or his walk-up, but it's effective.
Oh, he's played well today. Kicked 4 out of 9 goals.
Nice work by Walker. And there's Lynch coming over the top. So Favola gets 4. 38 so far for the season, with 8 rounds remaining. And Carlton get that goal they're looking for. They're first for the half. Margin is at 77 points. And we're in the final 10 seconds. Fletcher couldn't get through the pack there. Spins out to Walker. He's got some acceleration there. Keeps it low. Wait, almost the mark on the siren, but just under 40,000 fans here at Subiaco. They rise to their feet. They've seen a wonderful performance in the second half. An outstanding third term of 10 goals, 15 straight before Carlton getting the last. And we thought perhaps an upset was on the cards, or at least Carlton were going to push the West Coast right to the end after a terrific first half of footy where they led by 10 points. It just hasn't eventuated, because the final margin is 77 points. Brent Staker kicked 4 goals in this second half, and here he is with Lockie Reed.
Well, Stakes' career's turned around, and it's all got to do with the sleeveless jumper, I'm told. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, some can say that. I was just a long sleeve fan as a kid and always wore them. My father wore them, so I just continued it on, but now I've just taken up the short sleeve and going all right.
You're going to stick with it, I hope.
I think so. I just need a bit of a tan. I think might go to solarium.
Best game in AFL?
I don't know. I don't really weigh that up. I just think it was a good game. I kicked a couple of goals. The boys played well. It was just a good game all round.
What turned around at half-time? Did you finally just get over the bye and start playing footy? Was that the case?
At half-time was just mainly just stick to the game plan, and we were a bit rusty at the start. I think I feel the teams have been, in the after the break, but we just come out, stuck to the game plan, and overtook them. What
was the difference in the third term, do you think, though?
Just our work rate. Yeah, we work much harder. We know we're a fit side and just stuck to that and kept working hard. So pretty basic.
Good on you, mate. Well played.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Yes, a personal best of 4 goals for Brent Staker. They head to Friday night football to Melbourne to take on the Kangaroos. Carlton, well, they'll be very happy to be back in Melbourne after games in Darwin and Perth. They have travelled a lot of late, and they will be taking on St Kilda at the Telstra Dome on Sunday. And whilst they did come in as big underdogs, and they probably didn't think they could beat the best team in the competition, they would be bitterly disappointed by their second half.
Well, as we heard prior to the game, equal to their best start in club history, West Coast, and pretty grim stuff at Carlton there. Entrenched on the bottom, very good for that first half. Let's go back down to Lockie Reed.
Well, Fletch, Willow gave Cuzzy the 3 votes midway through the third term, but the boys upstairs have changed it now, and you are the 3-vote winner. Fantastic game from you.
Yeah, it was a good win. The boys had a good week off last week, and Carlton put it up to us in the first half, and we just ran over the top of them, I think.
Were you a bit shaky after the bye? Did you just put it down to that it just took time to get into the game?
Yeah, I think it takes time to get your second wind after a week off, and I thought we did that well in the second half.
Looking forward to the rest of the season, 8 games to go.
I know, not long, but we're all looking forward and ready to go.
Big test for you next week, isn't it? Friday night game. Eagles not so special on Friday nights.
Yeah, we haven't won at Tulsa for a while, so it's going to be a big test against North.
Good on you, mate. Well played.
Cheers, Lockie.
Yes, and that is a big game next week, but of course that is a long way from their mind at the moment. They'll go through the recovery process, and at the moment they're going through a process of kicking a few footies out to the crowd. A very happy, a very quiet crowd in the first half. It certainly came to voice.
Well, very similar after we saw the Essendon game. Very quiet, but quietly confident as the Eagles continue to punish sides in the second half. They just run games out, and that's a sign of a very, very good side.
No question about that, sharing the goal kickers around, and that may be a little bit of a concern, Tim.
Yeah, limping quite noticeably, and the medical staff that the doctor has been with him all the way, and if that's just cramp, and I'm not so sure. He's limping quite noticeably, so hopefully that is not too bad. And Phil Matera kicking the ball into the crowd, unfortunately kicked it straight into the post.
Yes, one of his better friends. Interesting, when Embley did come off, spoke about it when he was in a kicking action. To me, it's a calf or an ankle.
Okay.
So that may be the one negative to come out of this amazing second half by the West Coast.
32 possessions Fletcher, 27 were Plunder and Braun, 25 for Stenglein, 12 marks, and the best for the Blues, Scotland 17, 16 to Stevens and 15 to Lappin and Walker. Got to mention, I thought Chris Bryan was toiled manfully in the ruck, clearly outmanned, but his first half was outstanding.
And just run out of legs, but his use of the football, the way he just penetrates lines is just extraordinary. You look at that lineup for the West Coast Eagles, and 6 of their players, 24 possessions and above. That is just a lot of football from getting from your engine room.
20 out of the 22 got double figures or above. The only 2 that didn't, Edwards and Lynch.
Yes, amazingly, 371 disposals to 232. Just so much of the football when it was fairly even in the first quarter. Chris Judd, a little bit of magic from him once again with a couple of goals, and he finished up, as Tim said, with 24 disposals. But another win at Subiaco for the West Coast Eagles. They continue to dominate this competition. They are headed towards September. They've got 8 weeks to go, but they already know that they will be playing in the finals because they are 13-1 after round 14. We'll take a break from the AFL's family round here at Subiaco. They are a happy family, those boys there.
No. 53 in the second.